I run an air filter manufacturing company that makes $23 million a month, and I'm actively coaching, investing in, and starting boring businesses. Nobody will tell you about these businesses, but they're so profitable that it will change your life once you understand them. Starting at 15 to 25% margins, this might be the lowest margin business on my list, but it's also the easiest to start this weekend with zero experience and scale into 6 figures a year or more. You start with painting because it's the easiest entry point. Every homeowner needs it, there's no licensing barrier in most states, and you can learn project management on small jobs. But once you build a reputation and a network of reliable subcontractors, you can expand into other services: drywall repair, deck staining, fence painting, pressure washing. So how do you start this with zero experience and keep 15 to 25% margins? You're not looking for painting companies. You're looking for skilled labor that does not know how to sell. The fastest way to find them is offline. Drive through good neighborhoods during the week. When you see a crew painting a house, stop and talk to them. Once you have 2 or 3 crews you can trust, this model starts to work. The next business operates at 20 to 30% margins. You might think this is a hard business to run, but I see something that most people ignore. We pay a commercial cleaning company $300,000 per year to help clean our factories. These are small, independent, locally owned businesses who built their own crews after doing the work themselves. But here's what works: focusing specifically on medical offices, dental practices, and industrial buildings. Medical office can't skip cleaning. They have to maintain standards for compliance. On the other hand, industrial buildings like Filterbuys need it for safety and professionalism. Generally, you're looking for people who know how to clean but don't know how to sell. You bring the contracts, you're the salesperson, they bring the labor. Pay them per job or per visit. Once you have predictable monthly revenue, that's when you're going to convert the best crews into those full-time roles. That's how you scale without blowing up your cash flow. Remember, this is not a cleaning business. It's a contract business. You are collecting recurring revenue, one building at a time. I just watched this next business transform overnight. Andrew Asher was a college junior watching a window crew dangle 20 stories up. He realized the building owner wasn't paying for clean glass. They were paying for the insane liability of the humans on the ropes. So Andrew founded Lucid Bots to replace those ropes with drones. This is exactly the kind of innovation that creates an unfair advantage in boring businesses. You're charging the building owner $10,000 for a job that now takes you 2 days instead of 5, and your highest labor cost is just for charging the battery. Prove that you can generate demand, win some contracts, build relationships, and then once you have customers actually asking for larger building, then that's when you go out and buy the $20,000 drone, because it becomes obvious. Innovation does not mean starting big. It means starting smart. That's how boring businesses win quietly. This business has 35% profit margins and lower churn than Netflix, but nobody's talking about it. Dalen Huso was a 21-year-old broke kid trying to make money in brutal Arizona heat. He saw that pool cleaning companies were everywhere, but they were all white trucks with blue lettering. So Dalen started his own pool cleaning company using a combination of door-to-door sales and social media to drive up buzz, and it worked. Now, Flamingo Pools, great name by the way, is a multi-million-dollar pool cleaning business in Arizona. This is what most people miss. It's a weekly service, and they also sell me chemicals on subscription. Once you get in the first time, the churn is incredibly low. Nobody wants a green pool or algae problems. If you're starting from zero, the mistake is trying to cover too much ground too early. And that's consistent in almost any of these businesses that you start. You win in this business or in most local businesses by concentrating demand. Start with one neighborhood. Target areas with older pools, HOAs, and mid to higher income homes. You get paid monthly, and your costs are only chemicals, fuel, and time. This is not a pool cleaning business. It is a root density business. That's the game that you're playing. People will cancel Netflix before they cancel this next business. In 2012, David Cole didn't have a fancy degree or a huge inheritance. He had a $4,000 credit card limit in his garage. So what did he do? He used that $4,000 limit to buy some chemicals and a truck and started offering pest control to his local area. Beacon Pest Control is a multi-million-dollar empire across Florida. And what's great is that David has the type of business that's perfect to sell and make even more later. This is subscription billing at its finest. You sign customers on monthly or quarterly plans, you build routes in specific neighborhoods. Once they're paying you, they almost never cancel. So if you get anything from my channel, you just gotta start, because the sooner you start, the sooner you're gonna get past the hard part at the beginning. But once you land those first 5 to 10 customers that you're gonna have to fight hard for in the same neighborhood, everything changes, I promise. If you want a boring business, you should come on my podcast, Boring Money. Every week, I'll sit down with business owners and show them millions of dollars in opportunities hidden in plain sight. Email me to the address on the screen right now with a bit about your business to learn more. The next businesses on my list are all about selling to the rich, or even better, to local governments and businesses. I just spent $5,000 because I don't trust my tap water, and millions of people are about to do the same. I just had a whole house water filtration system installed. It filters all water before it reaches my faucet. I did it because I don't trust municipal water anymore. Once you spend $5,000 on a whole house system, you're paying for annual filter replacements. You want clean water, it's non-negotiable. The timing is perfect. Fear of tap water is accelerating. Once someone invests in the system, they're locked into your service at 30 to 40% margins with zero churn. This isn't about inventing something new, it's about harnessing existing demand in a smart way. Start by partnering with one manufacturer, get certified, and then install their system exactly to their specifications. You price the install competitively to get the customer in. This is a subscription service business disguised as a home upgrade. I watched someone make a fortune off my disaster, and I had no idea this business existed. I bought a house in Southampton, New York, but then one day, the septic tank overflows. Massive mess. So I called an emergency septic service. The guy shows up within 2 hours, he pumps the tank, inspects the system, and tells us what went wrong. The whole job took him maybe 45 minutes, and he charged me thousands of dollars. But I paid it without blinking because I had no choice. These guys have built a regional empire on a business that most people are too disgusted to even think about. Because it's disgusting work that nobody wants to think about, that's exactly why it's so profitable. You make the most money in doing the things that people or homeowners want to do the least. Once you have the specialty equipment and the training, you're easily operating at 30 to 40% margin. This is the type of business I would probably work in for a while first before jumping into it on my own. Working for somebody else for a year or two to learn the ropes, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Most operators will finance the truck and pumping equipment through equipment lenders, manufacturing financing, or SBA-backed loans. In some markets, you can do a short-term lease, and honestly, that's probably how I'd start. The next business makes 30 to 45% margins. Restaurants are legally required to pay for this disgusting service, and that's exactly why it's profitable. Giles G. Powell Jr., the founder of Grand Natural, looked at the back of a restaurant and saw liquid gold in the trash. He knew every kitchen was legally forced to clean its grease traps to stay open. But even better, Giles realized he could get paid twice. Grand Natural collects the waste oil and sells it as biofuel. They get paid by the restaurant to take the trash, then they sell that trash to fuel companies. To start, you need a used box truck or pickup, grease trap pumping equipment, storage tanks or sealed containers, proper permits and disposal agreements. None of this is exotic, and most of it can be bought used or financed. You win this business one strip mall at a time. I don't think of this as a grease business. I think of this as a regulated utility. At the top of my list, this legally required service is why I lost $1 million and why I now pay for it every year without thinking twice. It's 2015. We just leased a new building at Filterbuy. We filled it with inventory for new product lines. We set up a brand new break room with new appliances, all ready to go. Then, in the middle of the night, a microwave shorts out and catches fire. Nobody's in the building, thankfully, but the entire building burns to the ground. During the insurance settlement, I found out that we weren't completely compliant with fire protection requirements. It cost me a chunk of that insurance money, which is why Pi Barker Fire and Safety is making a lot of money from this exact service. Every commercial building needs annual backflow testing and fire system checks. They built an empire because they knew that in a world of boring money, a legal mandate is better than any sales team. This is sticky, recurring revenue at the highest margins. The first steps to get started in this business are straightforward. Step number one, you need to get certified locally. Fire and backflow requirements are governed at the state or county level, and that's an advantage for a local boring business. Most certifications can be done in weeks. Step two, Learn the code, not sales. This business runs on compliance. If you know the requirements, the customer already needs you. To find customers, you target property managers, small warehouse owners, or local commercial landlords. Before you buy any of these businesses, you need to understand the two numbers that separate businesses that make you rich from businesses that just keep you busy. EBITDA margin is just a fancy way of saying how much profit you keep after running the business. But here's the second number that changes everything: recurring revenue. When I started Filterbuy, I could acquire a customer once and sell to them every single month for years. That's recurring revenue. When I look at any business, I start with one question: how much cash can I actually take out of this business every year? Not revenue, not EBITDA on a spreadsheet, real cash. That immediately forces the right follow-up questions. After paying employees, rent, insurance, and repairs, what's left over? Now the red flags. If a business looks profitable on paper, but requires things like large inventory sitting on shelves, constant equipment purchases to grow, or heavy reinvestment just to maintain revenue, that's not a business, that's a capital black hole. I like to ask myself, if I stopped marketing tomorrow, would this business still make money next month? If the answer is yes, you're looking at a real business with real value. That distinction matters more than anything else. Now you know that real wealth comes from boring businesses that compound, not schemes or shortcuts. But this mindset only works if you pick the right businesses, and most people don't. Watch this next video where I break down the most profitable boring businesses that you can start in 2026 and exactly why they turn long-term discipline into real millions.